this video I thought I'd talk to you about cleaning and refilling your markers. So when it comes to refilling the markers, there are a couple of different ways to do this. Some people like to get their various ink, and then they like to get their marker and they like to just drop the ink onto the nib like this. If that floats your boat, go for it, absolutely no problem at all. Some people like to weigh the marker, and they know the weight of the marker when it's full, and they'll weigh their marker and then off they go and fill it up. Some people like to take one of the nibs out, hold it over a sink and fill up that marker until ink starts dropping out the bottom, and then they know their marker is full and off they go. I don't do any of those things. I'm a little bit more touchy-feely with my markers. If you get a new marker, if you touch it to your skin, you'll feel it's quite cold and wet. And I'm touching this one to me now, and it's not really feeling very cold and very wet, so I know that I need to fill this marker up. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to have a little chat with you about the nibs then. So if I'm going to fill up my marker, I am going to need to take a nib out, and the nib that I take out is the chisel nib. I don't take out the brush nib, the reason being, this is my test marker. I do lots of things in class with this marker, that's why there's an elastic band holding it together. So if you don't get hold of the brush nib when you take that out, as close to the plastic as possible like this, you're not going to get the whole nib out. If you just get hold of your nib here, it doesn't work that time. If you get hold of the nib there and pull it, the nib is going to split, and once that happens to the nib, it's kind of game over for that nib. So as a whole, I don't pull out this nib unless I need to replace it. So if I am going to refill my marker, and I'm going to do it on my colourless blender because it needs it, I'm going to take out the chisel nib. I'm just going to gently use my fingers to give that little wiggle. Some people like to use tweezers. You can see how tough that is to come out. I'm worried that if I do that with tweezers that I'm going to damage the nib. And then I get my various re-inker and I just put a couple of drops in, and then I'll touch it to me, and that still doesn't feel very cold and wet, so I know that I need to put in a couple more. That's much better. So then I'm putting the nib back in, and that's it, refilled. Then I have also got here a marker that's a little bit grubby. It needs a clean. So there's a couple of things you can use for Copic cleaning. First of all, we've got the rubbing alcohol, isopropanol in this. This is really for just cleaning the plastic parts of the marker. What I'm about to do, I'm never going to do with isopropanol, because what will happen is the isopropanol will go up into the pen, and it will react with the colour there and change it, and then it's kind of game over for the marker. So what I'm about to show you is not for isopropanol. Then there's the colourless blender in the various ink. You can use that, and also there is Copic cleaner. Of the two bottles that I've just shown you there, the various ink and the Copic cleaner, the Copic cleaner is a bigger bottle and it's cheaper. So I'm going to use this. And normally I do this in a jam jar, but if I do it in my normal jam jar, I'm going to be trying to fish around and it's going to be a disaster. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to get my whole nib and I'm going to dunk it in there and give it a nice little bath. Then I've got a piece of paper here. I'm just going to have a nice wipe around the whole pen. So that's my pen, or the nib at least, clean. Here's my lid. That's not actually as dirty as some of my other pens, so shh, don't tell anybody. And I'm going to give that a little swoosh around in there. Then I've got a cotton bud in here, and it's going to go in, and I'm going to have a really good poke around in there. I will, when I do some markers, I'll do a couple at the same time, and I'll tend to, maybe I'll do a load of greens together, and I'll start with the lightest greens and I'll work up to the darkest greens, and then I might work on some blues after that. I try and use this liquid as much as possible. There, that's much cleaner now. So I'm just going to have a little wipe in there. That's much better. There we go. One happy marker. Thanks for watching. Hi again. I just wanted to pop back and make sure I'm being perfectly clear, because sometimes I can be a little bit dizzy when I'm explaining things. So when I'm cleaning my nibs, the nibs, and I might do that because the nibs got a bit sticky or gunky, I am going to do that with the Copic Various ink or my Copic cleaner. I am not going to do it with the rubbing alcohol, the isopropanol, because what will happen is the isopropanol will soak up into the pen, into the felt inside, and it might react with the colour in there, and I'll end up with a YG17A, which is a whole new colour. So if I want to clean the plastic parts of the markers, being careful not to touch the nib, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that with my rubbing alcohol. But if I want to dunk my nibs, then I'm going with the Various ink, or I'm going with the Copic cleaner. And now I will sleep because I've explained it properly. Have a great day. Bye.